All right, now in this video, we're gonna go through the detailed explanation of cleaning data. Once again, so if you're using another survey software or you just want a better understanding of what's going on, this is the video for you. All right, so if you were watching the prep data one for other softwares, this is the one after it, and we went through and prepped all this data. Now we're going to go through and cleaning. Now cleaning is the step where we add additional columns to the data or in the final export where those columns will be used in the dashboard. Okay, so one of the columns is a final question text. This is going to be the text that's going to show up in the dashboard so that what the end user sees, what the actual question was. The next one is abbreviation. This is going to be used to select questions in our filter list, which is usually just a short snippet of what the actual question is. So for example, the final question text for this one, I'm going to put is what is your gender, and the abbreviation, I'm just going to put gender. The next one is section heading. This groups your questions into specific groupings. If you want to, group your demographic questions together and then your, regular survey questions together, you can here. Notes is going to give a new column with a note for this question. So in our dashboard is whenever you, in the Tableau one, whenever somebody clicks on this question, it's going to show a note if you put a note here. After that, we have our answer columns. This is what's going to show in the dashboard. If you change these values here, then that's going to represent in the dashboard. All right, so let's go ahead and just copy this because this is already nice and clean. That's what we want the end user to see. For this, just demonstration purposes, I'm going to put the question type in the abbreviation field because at the end of this, I'm going to connect this to the dashboard so you can see how this looks. Okay, so this one is a single response. And I know that because it's right here. All right, so this is a single response question type. If you want to change it, you can change it here. If for some reason the data preview down here doesn't look right, which this gives you a good idea of what it's going to show up in the dashboard as. And then you can hide, go to previous, next, and save. You also can jump around by switching it here. Okay, so for single response, normally it's very straightforward. You just put your final question text and your abbreviation. You can put a section heading. It's optional. I'll go ahead and put one here just so you can see what it looks like. All right, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. All right, so single response, usually pretty straightforward. All right, multiple choice is the next one. Remember, we have two multiple choice ones. We had one where we had the format where the survey software put multiple answers in one cell, and the other one is where they already split it out for us. All right, so we'll have two multiple choice ones. This is the first one. You'll see we have all of the column names because this was a grouped one. We had to group all these together by giving it all number 2. So everything we gave number 2 shows up here and then stacks up on top of each other. Now you'll see we have, if we add up all of these, it's going to be more than 70 because people can select more than one. So it's already counting it correctly here for us. All right, which is what we need. So I'm just going to copy this because this is what I want the end user to see. And usually I would put something like, why use the software, because this is what's going to show up in your answer or your filter list to pick. But for this, I'm going to put multiple choice because in the dashboard, I want to show you this as an example. But like I said, normally you put whatever makes sense for this question. All right. And usually multiple choice is very easy. You just copy and paste. Okay. Now, if you have a multiple choice where it's split out into different columns already for you, then more than likely you're going to have the question and then the answer option in your header. In that case, you just make sure you just grab the question part of it. And for the abbreviation, I'm going to also do multiple choice. But one thing you got to be careful with is with your abbreviation, you can never have the same thing twice. So in this one, instead of just multiple choice, I'm going to do multiple choice 2. All right, so make sure you have unique abbreviations for every new question number. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. This one is an example of the single response matrix. Remember, a single response matrix had multiple columns, which you can see here. We had to group all of these columns. And normally you get the question text in the beginning, and then whatever is in your row within your matrix at the end of your header. And then whatever is in your answer options is usually what came across the columns. So in this one, normally all we have to do is go to this matrix row part here, and we just delete this beginning part, as well as if it's in any brackets or anything, so that we just show what we want to show in the row. So this is what your actual survey question should have looked like. You should have had these options in your rows, these options in your headers. So this gives you a good idea of what to expect in the dashboard. And whatever you put here is what is going to show in the dashboard. Another thing we can do here is we can order these if for some reason these came out of order and they're not in the same order that we wanted or the order that was in our survey. We can order them here, and then it's going to order those from 1 to 5 in the dashboard. Also here we get to order it because as you see, these are out of order. We want extremely all the way to the left. So I'm going to order this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. At the end here, we have a null, but it's going to filter out anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. But this is how usually all the single response matrix looks like, and this is usually the steps you have to do to clean it. All right. So I'm going to grab this because I don't want the answer option of it. I just want this part. And this is going to be single response matrix. And like I said, normally you don't put the question type in the abbreviation. You put something like features available. And then so whenever you get to the dashboard, you click features available and this question pops up. All right, let's go to the next one. This one is a multiple choice matrix. Now, as you see, it's very similar to the single response as far as the format. Only thing different is you're going to have more than likely multiple columns for the same answer. So we have features here, and then we also have features here and features here. And that's because we did the split. All right, so usually you have more columns and it's going to have like duplicated values. We're not going to have to worry about none of that because the dashboard does everything for us. Only thing we're going to have to do is the same thing we did last time, is for each one of these matrix row, delete everything we don't want, which wasn't in our actual survey, which is these brackets and the first part of that. All right, so I'm going to hurry up and go through each one of these, and I'm going to do the same thing. But like I said, only thing different is we're going to end up having just more matrix rows, which may have duplicated values. Other than that, nothing different. All right, once we do that, we could apply a make sure row order here, but we'd have to make sure we're doing the same number for each combination. So I usually just leave that alone, but you do have to order these here. All right, and these are mandatory. Now, same thing, we just grab this first part because this is what we want to show the end user. And in this situation, I'm going to be doing the question text or the question type text here. But like I said, usually do something different. All right, so next one, matrix of drop-down menus. Like I said, this is a specialty question. I've only seen one software that has this question, but if yours do have it, then this is here for you. But this one has, like I said, it has 2 answers in your column name and then just 1 in your answer column. All right, on this one, what we're going to have to do is just delete the question part, which is here, for each one of these, and then leave the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. All right, now only thing you have to do is just make sure you don't have any leading blanks in the beginning or the end. It just has to all be exactly right. And you want to make sure the delimiter here is going to be a dash. So you want to make sure a dash separates your 2 answers. Okay. You could order if you want. I wouldn't mess with that. Next thing you do is rank these or order or put a sort here. This is going to be everything from the left to the right. So I want number 10 to be all the way on the left. And I'm just going to go down from there. All right, so I have all of those sorted. Now go ahead and grab your question text. And this one is the matrix of drop-down menus. All right, let's go ahead and hit next. All right, this one is called matrix drop-down. This one is a little different. This one has one answer in the column and two in the answer columns. All right, so this one is just the inverse of the other one. All right, so if they look exactly the same as far as what the end user sees, but some software has two in the column, a header, and one in the answers. Some software has two in the answers, one in the column. Okay, if you have it in this situation, then it's the matrix drop down. All you have to do is just delete the first part of this. Okay, and you just leave it like this. Only thing you want to be careful with or making sure of, if you have two answers here, then make sure you have a colon that is separating your two answers. All right, so you need a colon as your delimiter. All right, if not, if it has a dash or something else, then just delete the dash here and replace it with the colon. That's all you got to do here. All right, and then here you do 1, 2, and 3. And this is a matrix drop down. So this is what you would do to clean this. All right, next is numeric. Super easy. This is just all numbers. So nothing special here. We have ranking. Normally, this is all, you have all your different ranking options, and it's its own column. Within the column, within the column, it has a number, which was the answer that they rank these for. And normally, all you got to do is just delete all the question text and just leave the whatever the options were. All right, so I'm just going to delete the question text just so it's showing what my different options are. All right, now I'm just going to grab the question text here. And this is ranking. Next one is text box. Nothing to do here. This is just open-ended type questions. And it's simple. Just a question, final question text and abbreviation. Date. Same thing, just going to show a date here, and you just need to add this. All right, likelihood, nothing here. This is the net promoter score. So nothing you got to do here, unless you have like text, like string values in your answer columns, then you're going to have to change that. So it's just numbers. You just need numbers here. That's it. And the last one is zip code. Let's do, what is your zip code? And this is usually something that you pick, like a text box or or comment box, just asking for your zip code so that you can get a map in one of the visualizations. All right, that's it. So that's how you would clean each one of my question types. I'm going to go ahead and connect this to the dashboard just so you can see for each of these question types what the chart or what a chart will look like. All right, so I connected that data to the dashboard so you can see kind of what this is going to look like. So any single response questions more in the Tableau dashboard. Now the other ones are a little different, but very similar. It's going to be a bar chart counting, what the different counts are for the different options. So you're going to get a bar chart like this. The multiple choice is also a bar chart, very similar, but instead of both of these adding up to 100%, it's going to add up to more because the end user had the ability to select more than one answer. All right, but it's also going to show a bar chart like this. And that's the same thing for the multiple choice too, nothing different. The single response matrix is going to show up in a stacked bar chart for the Tableau dashboard. Okay, so you're going to have whatever went down your rows And then as far as went down, your columns would be colors, and you can see the percent difference here. So all of your single response matrix is going to look like this. All of your multiple choice matrix is also going to be the same visualization, but just like the multiple choice, you're going to have the user has the option to select more than one. So it could be a situation, for example, this is 100%, where it adds up to more than 100%. All right, but this is what the multiple choice matrix question types look like. A matrix of drop-down menus. Like I said, that one and the matrix drop-downs are very special question types, but I wanted to make sure to account for everything. That is going to look like this. You have, remember, you had the two columns, the two answer options in your columns, which were these two. And then you have your answer options, which was here. So that's what this is going to look like. Okay. Matrix drop-down was the one where you had one answer or one part of the answer in your title, and then you had two in your answer option. And that's what this is going to look like. Okay. Next one is numeric. Numeric is just one column with just a number in it. That, like I said, we had to make sure it was just a number because we're going to be running stats off of that. So you see what your average, your min, your max, your variance, all that here. Next is the ranking. All right, this is, you got all your different ranking options, and then you got what your average ranked is, and then who ranked highest and lowest. All right, next is text box. Text box is just the open-ended type questions. So as far as that, you're just going to see a list of all of the open-ended responses. And then also you'll see a word cloud in the bottom, which depending on what your question is will look nice or not look nice. All right, the next one is a date. This is any date or date time. You're going to get a line chart, and you'll be able to see, over the years what was the percent total. The next one is a net promoter score one. For the net promoter score, you will get you'll get the NPS score for the promoters, distractors, all those, and also you'll get the percent total, the raw count, and what the score is in this stacked bar chart. Final one is the zip code. Now, like I said, if you asked for the zip code somewhere in there, then you will be able to see a map where you can see the different responses across a map. All right, so those are all the different question types that we have, and how to treat them as far as prepping them and cleaning them, and what they're going to look like in the final dashboard. Now, this is the Tableau dashboard. The other ones look a little different, but it follows the same thing. Every question type has its own chart type, and it's very similar across all the different BI tools that we created dashboard templates for. All right, so this is an in-depth explanation of how all of this works, so that you can better understand it, as well as if you're not using one of the major ones where I walk you through step by step how to clean and prep the data. This gives you the knowledge to do it yourself. All right, well, hope you learned a lot on this one. I know it's a pretty long video, and I'll maybe see you in a different video. See ya.